5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Peace, everybody out there in the A2 crew. Go Blue. It's your boy, the Vic. We're back with another big house breakdown. That's right, all things Michigan football, FBS, etc., etc., etc. Join us for this wonderful ride as we go deep inside the world of college football as we see it through the Michigan Wolverines lens. You know what I mean? We invited some folks. We are inviting more. We're putting these particular articles out as we speak. Hopefully, a lot join. And if you'd like to join, I'm going to put the flyer up. Give me 1 second so that you can rock out with us on the Big House Breakdown. And all you have to do is go in your address bar, right, and type in StreamYard.com /R6J, I'm sorry, R6IJMSPURB. And you will be in the place to be, rocking with us on the Big House Breakdown, all things college sports through the lens of the Michigan Wolverines. We got you. Let's travel. Get on board. We going somewhere with this one. So we are going to talk about everything that everybody's talking about right now, which is the sign stealing investigation. Womp, womp, womp. But we're going to do it from a little different way. We're going to do it through, because I was thinking about it, right? And I was talking with Adam from Michigan Football Rants, and we talked about not even dealing with this. We talked about not even touching it because it's all over the place and so many people are doing it and so many people are dealing with it. Why put ourselves through the murderer's row? But I felt like, And I thought, like, if I don't do it, what in the world will become of, sometimes you got to have your own media, you know? And I know there's a lot of media pundits out there pulling for Michigan, but you ain't heard it like this one. Because I think Michigan is getting the kibosh. I think Michigan is getting the okey and the pokey. And I think that this is a great opportunity to stick up for that Go Blue, because there's a lot popping, and it usually doesn't spell anything good for the Michigan Wolverines. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Signgate, all of the craziness that is going on within it, without it, and in between it. Yeah, man. And what I don't like, particularly, is that in Signgate, right? We're gonna call this Signgate 23. It's ruining the season of a great team. And I mean a great team. I mean a team that's probably going to be the one that wins the national championship. The Michigan Wolverines of 2023. That's right, you heard it. JJ McCarthy, Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, Roman Wilson, that offensive line, that defensive line, that whole defense playing like Cool and the gang out there. They're so in sync with one another. They are doing it big. They are doing it like they should. And if you guys want to jump on the Big House Breakdown, we're going to put the URL and the stream key in here. And if you want to jump in and talk your ish about your favorite Big Blue Victor's Valiant Michigan Wolverines, I'm going to put the call letters in here, and hopefully I get the order correct. Let's see. I'm going to pull this down and pull this up, or at least side by side or something to that effect. Yeah, there we go. So we go R6. Let me click on it one more again. R6. IJ. What is it? M. I believe it's JM. All right. Give me 1 second, family. Let me just put this in here so I can have it up on the screen so that you guys can partake in it as well. SPURB. Okay. We are locked and loaded. Yep, there you go. So please, 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 please sign. Please jump in, like, share, subscribe, come on to the show. Tell us what you think about these Michigan Wolverines and what's currently going on with them. Now, we're not going to spend a whole show on this. We're going to do a little bit of it. But I likened what was going on to a popular show that just got off television, right? Because I think they're getting railroaded. I think there's a smear campaign out for the Michigan Wolverines. And I believe what's going on with the Michigan Wolverines is Game of Thrones ish, right? GOT, Game of Thrones ish. Now, why do I say that? Well, we're the Wolverines. And of course, in Winterfell, they had the Starks were the wolves were their sigil, right? And with the wolves being their sigil, there were several things that happened within the series, spoiler alert, that would make their sigil, not only their sigil, but their journey, very, very, that paralleled their journey to what it is right now, what we're talking about, what we're dealing with right now, as we see it within the landscape of college football and the smear campaign that we see right here in 2023. So we're talking about the Michigan Wolverines. You know, they're trying to make them like the Game of Thrones. You see my Michigan Wolverine piece. You see my rabbit hole because everybody wants to jump down the rabbit hole and try to create some sort of insanity where there may not be any insanity. And then also that leads to our Game of Thrones parallels. And of course, if you are playing in the Game of Thrones like the Michigan Wolverines, we are playing for a championship this year, very much like a kingdom. And in Game of Thrones, Ned Stark got his head cut off because he got caught up in too much political espionage within the Seven Kingdoms, and he wasn't ready for it. And people straight set him up. They set him up for the downfall. They set him up to get beheaded. And then, of course, if you know about Cersei Lannister and the Lannisters from Pride Rock, she had to do the walk of shame. And they're trying to make the Michigan Wolverines do the walk of shame. So I'm going to put my education to use, and I'll show you a chemistry experiment right here. So you got team greatness, which is what's currently going on with the Michigan Wolverines. You got this political campaign, which is bouncing off of everybody's lips in the college football world right now. Everybody's talking about it. They're not even talking about how good the Michigan Wolverines are as a unit. They're talking about whether or not they cheated. So you got team greatness plus the political smear campaign. They're trying to make the 2023 campaign for A2 crew a bunch of boo-boo. You know what a bunch of boo-boo is. You know what a bunch of boo-boo is. A bunch of boo-boo means caca, crap, toilet paper material. You know what I mean? They're trying to make our run and our ascension into a college football dynasty. They're trying to put the brakes on it. And it's nothing but a FBS witch hunt. That's all it is. It's a FBS witch hunt. And why is it an FBS witch hunt? I will show you right now. Because of the rules in the college football guidelines, 11.6 scouting of opponents, which is what Michigan is being ruminated about because, you know, there are no official charges levied yet. And it's getting out of control. I think the latest piece in this whole fiasco is that the FBI is involved. Wow, really? All the stuff that Georgia has done, all of the crap that Alabama has done, all of the crap that LSU, Tennessee over the years, you're getting the FBI involved for what is essentially a cultural norm within the sport, which is getting other people's signs through scouting them. So let's go back to the scouting opponents. So you got 11.6.1 off-campus in-person scouting prohibition. You got an exemption, same event at same site, and then you got 11.6.1.2 exception, conference or national championship. So my problem with all of these rules are they are vague and inconclusive. And then the second part of it all is even when we get officially formally charged by the NCAA, we have 90 days to respond, which is going to be well after the football season is over and done with. But the reason why I say this is like Game of Thrones is because there's so much crap involved. There's a manifesto involved. What kind of crap is that? Are we playing football? Are we trying to overthrow the Russian government? What are we doing? Right? Private firms have been hired. Wow. You really need a private firm to investigate a youth sport, college sport. Was somebody dead? Did somebody commit some sort of like, you know, espionage or treason in the country? Or was somebody, you know, was there some sort of felony occurred? Why is the FBI involved in Michigan stealing signs? Crazy. Then you got mystery tickets handed out by this Connor Stallion dude. And then the Connor Stallion dude didn't even go to the games. He handed the tickets to the other people and they went to the games. And they were the alleged ones that were recording or whatever they were doing. Let me tell you something. If a Michigan coach walks around on a Michigan campus and gives out Michigan tickets or tickets to another football game, you think those young people are not going to jump at the chance to go see a college football game, as exciting as it is? You're out of your mind. Of course they are. Now, whether those people have signs or don't have signs or record or don't record, they're going to jump at the chance to use those tickets. And if those people are not on Michigan staff, paid to be on Michigan staff, then how the hell can you prove in-person scouting? That's supposed to be someone on Michigan staff doing that. So back to it, man. We got all kind of espionage, and we got manifestos, we got private firms, we got mystery tickets, we got military ops. Supposedly this Connor Stallion was a military dude. Okay, so he was on Michigan's roster as an analyst. Okay. But he's a you bringing up his military background, like that matters. You got these vague NCAA rules, possible rogue agents from mystery tickets, and possibly he's a rogue agent because, according to Jim Harbaugh, he never gave Connor Stallion permission to go do anything like that. Not unless you're trying to write a manifesto to try to take over Michigan football. That was alleged, right? And not only that, but you don't have formal charges. You didn't even have formal charges on Jim Harbaugh giving the recruit a burger. He can't even be decent to a kid that might have been hungry, that might have been coming from humble backgrounds, and had to give a kid a burger. You think a burger is going to make a 5-star athlete sign with you versus some other school all over the country? You got it twisted. You got it twisted. Not when other schools are giving out the bag. I mean, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And that's not what Michigan is doing. Right? You got fat flash drives lurking all over Schembechler Hall. You got goblins, Ryan Day. You got garbage pail kids, James Franklin. And what's interesting was the Braylon Edwards YouTube short about why they're doing this. Well, if Jim Harbaugh was handing you your ass for the last 2 years consecutively, and you didn't have an answer for why he did that or how to stop it, then yeah, you'd want to cook up some juice on Harbaugh and say, you know what, Jim, maybe the best thing for you to do is just go back to the NFL. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, everyone in the media, let's say that the best place for Harbaugh is in the NFL. That's the best place for him. That's where he should go. And why is that? Because if Jim goes back to the NFL, then that means that the Big Ten can go back to being lilies in the field for zero state. They got no competition. They don't have to sharpen their tool. They don't have to get bigger, stronger, faster. They don't have to do anything to get better or be better. They can go back dominating and recruiting. They have the world, the college football world is their oyster. Not to mention, I also heard that Jay Harbaugh might be involved. FBI is involved. This all seems very Game of Thrones-ish to me. You are trying to create a cloud of suspicion that Jim Harbaugh is trying to kill the king. And who is the king right now? NCAA football is the king. That committee rules it all. And if you could prove that Jim Harbaugh was trying to work without the rules, now you could try to get his head chopped off like Ned Stark. Oh, Games of Thrones-ish. Right? And all of it because you're punishing what is a cultural norm. And I hope the NCAA is taking stock of the varied opinions that are popping off all over the country. All kinds of coaches, all kinds of pundits and commentators and ex-players, both NFL and college, right, are saying that that scouting signs is a cultural norm in the world of college football. Everybody from Nick Saban to Deion Sanders to Kiffin, everybody's jumping in there saying the same thing. And then you got those who don't like Jimmy and the threat that he poses, and you're trying to make a big deal over sign stealing that's been going on in college football forever and ever, forever, ever, forever, ever, forever, ever. So I got a little clip I want to show you. And this particular cat in the clip from Real HQ on YouTube, you can go watch the clip. He's going to break it down why this whole thing is nonsensical and why this is not something that's going to be or should be punishable. Not only should it not be punishable, but you shouldn't have to try the Michigan Wolverines in a court of public opinion because really, you got no leg to stand on. Check this out. Cookie crumbles on the Big House Breakdown.
Investigation leaks have been selective and controversial. The fact is, in the Big Ten Conference, teams are required to video record and film their game in high definition from multiple angles, including sidelines. The material is then exchanged with all other teams. This is the video that teams will study and analyze in preparing for future opponents.
That is called the All-22. That's called the All-22. So they made not only the 1994 rule that I showed you, 11.6.1, about scouting, only because every team couldn't afford to send scouts at the same pay rate or the same budgetary allotment as other schools. So there was a have and a have-nots to the teams that were able to send their people to scout. So you want to make it fair and equitable across the board. But the All-22 allowed you to do the very same things. Zone in, get signals, not get signals. Let's continue. Fair use, Young Turks.
Including Michigan. So having a fan or friend of your team recording iPhone video from the stands isn't going to get you anything you do not already have.
And then you got to prove it. You got to prove that they were filming, that's one. You got to prove that they were filming for Michigan because you know how many thousands of people take out their phones and take pictures and do this or do that in the middle of a game? It's absolutely crazy. Let's continue.
Well, maybe it impresses your friend who gets a thrill in being part of the scouting effort. And you, the person asking for help, Counter Stallions, get some status or credibility or respect with your friends. If somebody on the Michigan football team or staff said to me, "Hey, Schuster, we want you to go to a Penn State or Ohio State game and help us gather intel," I'd be thrilled. I'm an alum. I would do it in a heartbeat. Go Blue. Relatedly, the NCAA bylaws do not forbid me or any other friends, fans, or advocates of a university from engaging in such efforts. The NCAA bylaws only say that a team's coaches, players, staff, or paid university personnel cannot engage in such activities. The rule was put in place 30 years ago and was meant to help universities who could not afford to send scouts to opposing stadiums. Now, by all accounts, Connor Stalions, the low-level Michigan analyst who allegedly bought tickets to dozens of Big Ten rivals the past few years, did not use the tickets himself. There is evidence to prove Stalions has been on the Michigan sidelines for every Michigan game the past 5 years. And unless you believe in time travel, there is no way he could have done any in-person spying on other teams.
And there you have it. There you go. So even if they do try to say that Aaliyah got tickets for Connor Stallion, ran out to Wisconsin, first of all, college students are broke. I'm going to say it again. College students are broke. Unless mommy and daddy gave them an Amex with an unlimited amount, and they're busy paying for their college tuition. So for the most part, college students are running around with short pockets, right? So where are all these people with these dozens and dozens of tickets going to run all over the country, both away and home, and future opponents and current opponents, to scout, be accurate? You got to scout, you got to be accurate, and then you got to do it according to the manifesto. Don't forget that. There's the manifesto. Yo, if you like what you're hearing or you just want to join, please, please, please jump on in. We want Big Blue coming through. If you here for Go Blue, if you're here for the Michigan Wolverines and you want to talk about this particular topic, here are the call letters below. R6IJMSPURB. Put it in your address bar above. Come backstage. I don't care who you are, just as long as you love the Michigan Wolverines, and we can get it popping. Let's go. So we were talking about Game of Thrones-ish, right? And all of the craziness that went on that series, the Red Wedding. Is somebody going to lay down over this? They're trying to make Jim Harbaugh lay down in that red over this. Yeah, Jimmy, go to the NFL. That's what's good for you. Go be the Browns head coach. Go tread water in that mud. Don't be here kicking our butts in the Big Ten. Don't break the all-time college record and get 1,000 wins and win a championship and possibly have your quarterback be the leading candidate in the Heisman race all in the same season. And then, of course, there's this private firm that was particularly hired by someone. I don't know who the hell that is, right? I have some ideas. Ohio State, right? I have some ideas. Penn State, right? Because James Franklin was already talking about Michigan paying off the Big Ten to have an easy schedule. Meanwhile, he gets to play Delaware, right? He gets to put them on his schedule, right? But everybody's complaining about how soft Michigan's schedule is, right? You could schedule Wyoming, Ohio State, but everybody's talking about how weak Michigan's schedule is, right? Miss me with that. You know what I mean? So this thing just keeps going and going. They want somebody in Michigan to lay down like the Red Wedding in GOT. They want somebody to um they want Jim Harbaugh's head on a spike like Ned Stark in the very first couple of episodes on Game of Thrones, first season, right out the gate. You know, which is crazy on crazy. Excuse me. I hope you guys weren't hearing my fan. Let me turn this off. Yeah, because I don't want that buzzing in the recording. So if it was buzzing, I apologize. No worries. It's off. I hope that makes it better. Anyway, so we got that popping. They want him done and unalived like the Red Wedding. They want him unalived like Ned Stark's head on a spike. We're the Wolverines, so we should go through all of the turmoil and family chaos that the Starks went through. All right. And so on and so on and so on. Michigan right now, they're trying to make us Game of Thrones ish and turn a great season into a bunch of boo boo. But we're not going to let them do that. Why? Why are we not going to let them do that? Why? Because we got this here. Mid-season honor roll for our team, the Michigan Wolverines. Let's go. So, changing lanes, changing speeds, right? We're going to get into the mid-season honor roll. Now, why is it a mid-season honor roll? Because we have a second half, a championship second half of the season to play. But we do want to recognize our amazing Blue for coming through and providing an awesome first half to the season. So let me know out there, man. Are you listening on the 5 Facebook channels? Are you listening on YouTube, Primetime with a Purpose? Are you listening on the Real HD Network on Twitch TV? Are you listening on the AJ James channel on uh, Twitter? Are you listening on IG? Are you listening on Mob Crush, D Live, Trovo Nation? Are you in tune with what's popping right now? Get in here, leave your comments. I will put them on there. We can have a conversation. We got some mid-season honor roll mentions to get to you. So we got the Rock Award. The Rock, meaning who is the tone setter? Who's the one that keeps it all together? Who's the one that you could depend on, whether it's rhyme or song or wet or dry or sunny or indoors? He gonna run real hard and get you that score. I'm talking about nobody other than Mr. Blake Corum. That's right. Blake Corum gets the Solid as a Rock Award for the Michigan Wolverines. Of course, when you talk MVP, a lot of people would like to say J.J. McCarthy, and I'm going to agree. Now, usually what I would do is I would give it to one of the big bubbas, right? Meaning the offensive, defensive lines. Because I really think they had a tremendous to do with where Michigan is right now and what they are able to accomplish so far this season. We got a championship end of the second half of the season to go. But like the title says, the eye in the sky don't lie. So we have the eye in the sky mid-season honor roll, and the MVP will be JJ McCarthy. I like to call him JJ Mac because he be flame throwing. I love his accuracy. I love his poise. But you know the reason why I gave him MVP? And there was only one reason. Not only did he have great performance, not only is he leading in quarterback QBR and efficiency all over the country, and he's been doing it for a long time. Sometimes some quarterbacks can only do it for a week or two. He's been doing it throughout 8 games, getting it in, making that 1-3 interception game look like a fluke, right? Making that look like an aberration. The reason why I gave him the MVP is I love what he does when his teammates scores and he runs to the end zone to congratulate them. You know what he does? He gives them a crown. He fixtures, he puts his hand like he's putting a crown on their head. And I love that, yo. That is so hot. Like, that's the real stuff you want out of a teammate, man. Like, I could see if and when this team wins the national championship and they're all old men, 60 and 65 years old, and they have an honorarium to celebrate the 2023 season and all its glory, they're gonna go back and say, JJ, you were the man for doing that. You made us feel like we were really a team. Hence all the pictures that you see in the mid-season honor roll picture, because they feel like a real unit. They feel like a real team, and it doesn't matter where they're playing, whether it be at home or abroad. They doing it together, and that's the main thing. And their quarterback is even in the act. You know, some quarterbacks want to throw that lollipop around. They want to throw the rainbow around, and you know, be, you know, 25 for 40 and 300 yards or whatever it amounts to, whatever stat them continuously throwing the ball amounts to. JJ don't care, because he's like, look, we got unfinished business, my dudes. We got things to do. We got championships to win. So I'm giving my MVP in midseason honor roll to JJ McCarthy for the selflessness that he exhibits with his team and how that benefits them. Okay? Now, my efficiency award, I'm going to give it to Roman Wilson, because when there's a play to be made or a touchdown to be scored, JJ on the scramble drill, Roman Wilson makes himself available for dynamic touchdowns all season long. Yes, sir. The tight ends are rounding into shape. So we're going to give them the Batman Award, because they are the utility players on the team that do a little bit of everything. They block like fullbacks. They go out and catch passes like slot receivers. They jump ball in the end zone. They do it all. So we love our tight ends, because our tight ends are multifaceted, multi-purposed. You can put them out on an island against a safety. They're going to moss them. So we're going to give our Batman Utility Award to the tight ends on the Michigan Wolverines. Okay? Now, most improved player. Okay? I like this award only because I think it's a get it out the mud award. It's an award that, you know, needs to be talked about more than all of the other ones do, because this player has spent time refining his craft, doing what he needs to do to benefit the team and to be the best Michigan Wolverine, both in leadership and in presence and talent. And that award goes to Mike Sanderstill. That's right. Agent Zero, most improved player. I think his play, him getting in the end zone twice, I think it was the right move to make him a team captain. The eye in the sky don't lie. He's on the honor roll. He gets the most improved player award um, for the Michigan Wolverines during half their season. He's got much more work to do as the championship season rolls around. And I think you haven't seen the last of him, or that Paul Bunyan stance that he does in the end zone. And um the gang award goes to, and what is the gang award? The gang award means those who pull together and make the biggest impact on the team. And I'm going to give it to the offense and defensive line. The gang award goes to offense and defensive line, eating up clock and busting up offenses at a stadium near you. And those were our Michigan midseason eye in the sky honor roll recognitions, and awards on the Big House Breakdown. Tell a friend, like, share, subscribe, and jump on in with what we doing on the BHB. So now we got something else right here, man, called wrinkles. Oh, what are wrinkles? Wrinkles are those things that need to be straightened out. Those are things that need improvements so that we could get bigger, stronger, and faster. So I'm going to pick a couple of areas of the Michigan program that I believe need to get bigger, stronger, faster, better if we're going to enter championship season and do the damn thing. Okay? So the things that need to get bigger, stronger, faster on the Michigan program, and I may say some names or I may say some aspects of coaching, okay? Or aspects of the offense, defense, special teams. So straight away, I'll say special teams. I think special teams, if we're going to be a championship team, I think special teams needs to make their impact felt. I think we need maybe a kick return touchdown, a punt return touchdown, or evidence that our field goal kicking is going to be the difference in what we're doing. Even a couple of wrinkles in the kick return game, maybe a kick return and pass, maybe a kick return reverse, something that would, make it make those teams have that much more to scout, that much more to be involved with as far as, trying to defeat the maize and blue. So there you go with Ben Herbert, the strength and conditioning coach for the Michigan Wolverines that has us kicking college footballs behind. We holding our own nuts, kicking them in their Jimmy Hine parts, right? Evidence of Mason Graham could have an injured hand and still come out there and be effective. Agent Zero can catch 2 picks and take them to the house. Now, what needs to improve are 2 players, and they really need to step it up, or we need to scheme it up to get these 2 players more involved. And maybe they can work off each other, or maybe they could work off of some offensive sets. And I know Jim Harbaugh and Sharon, the offensive coordinator, may be holding back for the championship portion of the season as far as play calling. So there may be some wrinkles. But Donovan Edwards needs to make an impact in the passing game. And his run after the catch should be dynamic. He needs to work the ladder as a pass catcher. Make it like it's a sweep, work the ladder, and get up the field for gains of 10 or plus yards every time he catches the ball out of the backfield. We need to work him like we used to work Chris Perry and get that screen game popping so that Donovan can stretch the field with that super speed and be Super 7, the Don, and do his thing. So, and then also C.J. Johnson. We need C.J. Johnson in the end zone, man. That dude is high pointing balls, catching them in traffic, catching them in the dirt. He's mud catching the balls. He's high pointing the balls. I don't know if he dropped a pass yet. Yeah, I think he did. I'm sorry. Strike that. I think he did. But it's not often that he drops a pass. And what I like about JJ, if you drop a pass, rather than have your head down and your head out of it and your spirit out of it, JJ goes right back to you. And CJ needs to get involved with some deep passes so he stays hungry and we stay more dynamic as an offense. And then, of course, Super 7 needs to get involved, stretching the field, taking players to the house. He needs to be a constant threat. And this year, he's not as threatening as he used to be. That doesn't mean he can't be. Just means he needs to get that going. And I don't see why if he's not going to be dynamic in the running game, then we need to use him in all kinds of crazy ways in the passing game. out of the backfield, screens. You know, we need receivers blocking for him, tight ends blocking for him. We need everybody 10 toes down to get Donovan to cut loose and be the X factor for the Michigan Wolverines. And I think that offensive line could do it. I think Ladarius Henderson has to give that body up when he's pulling out and making plays. I think they need to devise a bunch of plays to get him in the fray of the offense and make him super like we know that he can be. Also, I want to see our corners, especially our off corners, not so much Will Johnson, because I just think he's so technically sound that he's not going to get beat. And he's got the length and the size to ward off most receivers. And his reputation precedes him. So it's not many people that are going to, especially with him already taking a pick to the house, they're not going to try that, especially with the way that we scheme up what we're doing with our defensive secondary. Love that by Jesse Minter. But we need to see that off corner solidified, making more plays, and being more on the ball. Meaning, you don't have to pick it off, but you shouldn't be getting burnt in that off corner. Now, what I do like is I like Mikey Sanders still at that off corner, because if we need a corner blitz, I love Mikey Sanders still coming off that corner, doing a corner blitz, and getting it done. Now, I want to see Barnhart and Henderson being a little more stout as left and right tackles so that JJ doesn't have to run around as much. JJ should be, you got enough box ends that are going to loop around and create pockets for JJ to run around in. We don't want to create pockets where there are none. So we want our tackles to be a little more hands-on. Use your feet first, hands second. Give JJ some time to make JJ magic. So those are our wrinkles. And then, of course, I just want those plays that are coming offensively and those defensive schemes that are coming defensively, whether we're cheating or we're not cheating. I want the communication of those things to come in a timely fashion so that we don't get caught in any up-tempo drills by, Zero State and Penn State. All right? So that includes wrinkles and things to improve on the Real HD Big House Breakdown show. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to get into a look ahead. What is a look ahead? A look ahead is what we can expect from the second half, which starts the championship season of college football. One more again, if you want to participate, the call letters are on the bottom. All you got to do is put it in your browser, right? And you too can join us and give your 2 cent, your cent too, on the Michigan Wolverines. But we doing a look ahead, and a look ahead goes a little something like this. Hit it. All right. So our pivotal games on our schedule coming up is Penn State and Ohio State. And after reviewing the game between Penn State and Ohio State, with Ohio State coming out the victor by a couple of scores, not many, because it wasn't a whole lot of things that were the difference in that game. We're gonna put on our Swami hat. We're gonna become psychic. We're gonna be Miss Cleo out this mug and try to come up with some things that we think can happen. Okay. So Penn State, we're gonna go to Happy Valley in a noon kickoff situation, which is great for us. The whiteout wouldn't matter in the sunshine unless it's going to be a rain game, right? And I think we're going to do well in that particular one because we're not scared of their receivers. Their receivers don't create much separation. I'm not that impressed with Ohio State's secondary, and if you can't get separation on that bum group, then who are you going to get separation on? And I'm not liking what Aller is looking like as a quarterback. He's not looking like the sharpest tool in the shed when the game is on the line. Now, so I think it's going to be like last year? No. But do I think we'll win by 2 or 3 scores? Yes. I'll say we'll win by 3 scores against Penn State, especially if we grind them out with our offensive defensive lines. I think we'll win handily in that one. Okay, now let's talk about Zero State. Okay. Now, if there's a lot of people with a lot of conjecture online that they were the ones that hired this secret private firm to do all this investigating of Michigan because Ryan Day doesn't want to get beat again and lose his job and all this crap, right? Whether they did or they didn't, we coming to whoop that ass. We coming to get that ass on November 20th of this season. So just buckle up. You know what I mean? Tell all those Ohioans that, that are kissing their sisters to get ready, because we coming. You gotta let Judy Lynn live a minute, because the Michigan Ohio State game has to be played. Y'all gotta catch this third L and set off our dynasty of what it is we about to do in college football. Why? Because y'all soft up the middle, man. Ohio State soft up the middle, cracking like peanut brittle. You see all them injuries. Emeka Ibuka. You got the running back out. You know what I mean? Trainum is out, or he's in and out, right? He in the training room. That's never a good sign. When you in the training room because you got a little bit of sugar on your elbow, that ain't good, my dude. That is not good, right? And I don't like Kyle McCord and what he looks like as a quarterback. I think he can be rattled. I think a Lark from Penn State could be rattled. The way our defensive line is coming off that edge, I think Brooks and Stewart and McGregor and Harrell are going to have a field day with this dude. I can't wait to see what Minter draws up to keep Marvin Harrison Jr. at bay, and for us to scheme up all kinds of pressure for Kyle McCord. We need to shut these dudes out. And then they can go ahead and call the FBI, CIA, Interpol, whoever they want, because we shutting y'all out. I want Michigan to get a shutout on Ohio State. I want it to be that bad. And guess what? If Ohio State is responsible for the whole secret firm investigating Michigan with all of the signs and all that, you done did it. You done did it. If ever there was a team that could have been complacent and lazy and approaching the next 3 games before Penn State and Ohio State without a whole lot to play for, you just gave them a whole lot to play for. You didn't put a battery in their back. You didn't put some gasoline in their pocket. You know what I mean? You didn't put some fire in their shoes. These dudes are ready to play. Trust me. These dudes are at Schembechler Hall going through these drills, killing each other in that weight room to get at y'all jokers. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Oh, it's going to be glorious, too. We might even get a couple of quarterbacks coming out of the game over this situation. It's personal. And then we're going to lead that, and that leads all the way into the Big Ten championship game, and whoever comes out of the mess of the West. Wisconsin, Iowa, and then possibly Minnesota, maybe. You don't know. Whoever it is, Michigan is ready to smack them and become those 3-time Big Ten championships and win 1,000 games in college football. Set that record. And then move on from there into the college football playoffs. Now, those are the 4 teams that I think will make it. When it's all said and done, I think you'll have Michigan and Georgia. Our 2 offensive lines are just too much. And our two defensive lines are too much. I think Florida State is really, really talented. They'll find a way to get out of that ACC unscathed. And then Washington is the best coming out of the Pac-10. All leading up to that trophy, that coveted playoff trophy. NCAA will have to swallow their pride and present Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines with the 2023 college football championship. Now we got my man on the bottom with the eyeballs on Stranger Things. That's right, Stranger Things, because a lot of things are happening. You know, they got the Michigan Wolverines looking Game of Thrones-ish. They want us to take that walk of shame. They want us to get our head on a spike. They want them ice walkers coming after us. I mean, they got the freaking FBI investigating. My goodness. Y'all need it that bad. Ryan Day is scared of losing it that bad. James Franklin is scared of losing it that bad. Come on, man. Come on, man. So that's been the Big House Breakdown and our mid-season mirror on the Big House Breakdown for your Michigan Wolverines. Scandals or no scandals, we about to handle business. You just put enough impetus and enough energy into a volcano that's gonna erupt, called the Michigan Wolverines. Why did you ever wake up a sleeping Michigan Wolverine? Go Blue!